It is very hard to explain this relationship, especially when it is one that I have been in my whole life. I can't describe my love. All I can say is that I carry it with me wherever I go. Because to me, who you are and what you love are not separate things. You are one, you are the same.
Chewang Motup is a man whose heart has always been in the mountains. He was all of 13 when he climbed his first mountain near his school in Kashmir. At 19, he tried to sneak up the Everest and landed up working on rescue missions with the military. He met me on the mountains too. Of course, he fell in love with me, a mountaineer. Who else would understand him? Together, we founded Remo Expeditions because he wanted to share his love with others. He started the Leave No Trace campaign to teach people how to love and respect the mountains. And that's why we brought down 4 tons of garbage from Everest. 2 years after the floods hit Ladakh, Motup started the Ladakh Marathon to inspire his people and to get them back up and running. And guess what? Ladakhi athletes won the race for years to come. And then came the Khardungla Challenge, the highest ultra marathon in the world, which has become a benchmark for the toughest of athletes who come to participate from all around the globe. Motup always loved sports. He helped the practically unknown ice hockey players of Leh get recognition, and now they win international tournaments for the country. But I've always thought of him as a passionate man of the mountains, who knows that if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, you'll reach higher than you ever imagined.
I was born in a very remote area, Nubra Valley. So I was sent away to this boarding school, as a young boy. I was so lucky that I managed to get my education, my schooling in the Kashmir Valley. Because I will say Kashmir is one of the most beautiful places on this planet Earth. I think from the age of around 13, I started getting chance with our teachers to go and climb some of the peaks there. When I kept on going to the mountains, when I saw how beautiful, when you're up reaching on a summit, when the sun is just rising, and that, then the views from the top of a mountain, 360 degrees, and then you see the beauty of nature. So that's where I really got hooked onto mountaineering. And that's slowly, I decided in life that this is what I wanted to do. There was this expedition which was planned to go to Everest, an Indian expedition in 1984. So my focus shifted to that expedition. Tried my best to get into the 84 expedition, but I was not selected. To prove my point, I said I'm going to go and climb alone, solo. I didn't know how big, how difficult, how dangerous Everest was those days. It's nothing like what these days, the way people climb Everest these days is very different. I think that expedition taught me the most, I would say. I mean, that crazy young boy who wanted to climb Everest solo realized how powerful, how mighty nature is, and made me very, very humble. You are just, minuscule in front of these big, mighty mountains. I said, there's nothing more mightier than the nature. When you climb mountain, you don't go to conquer it. You go on a pilgrimage. One of the biggest problems I see right now is going up into the mountains, which is absolutely, clean. There's no one. We are going and dirtying those places. I think that's absolutely inhuman. You could see all kind of garbage. It was littered everywhere. So we started practicing leave no trace. We have a list of what all are going on the trek. So everything will be counted. So on the way back, when the expedition comes back, we'll recount it, where all this, whatever we have taken into the outdoors, whether it's not coming back or not. But unfortunately, this has to be done at a much larger level. Say it should be built into a system. The day won't be far that all these beautiful places will disappear. The 2010 flood was a big tragedy for Ladakh, and hundreds of lives were lost. Feeling of sadness, demoralization. I came up with this, I will say, an idea to host a marathon in Ladakh, to tell the world that Ladakh is back from that tragedy, and we are not just back, we are running. Which was a unthinkable, unimaginable idea, making people run that to a marathon at this altitude. Our leaders, the officials had the same opinion that you're going to kill people. But I knew that if it's done properly and if you have the right logistic laid, it could become successful. And that's how in 2012 we had the first Ladakh marathon. One of the things which I'm very proud of is that the way, I will say, it created opportunities for the younger lot of Ladakh. Many have them managed to make their lives secure. We take them to various other marathons in the country. They run about 5 different marathons within a span of about 4 or 5 months. And they are now thinking of not just winning the nationals, they're thinking of stepping onto the internationals podiums.
मेरा नाम जिग्मे डोलमा है। अभी मैं एक दुकान में काम करती हूँ और उसके साथ साथ मैं एग्ज़ाम भी देता हूँ, उसके साथ साथ मैं रनिंग भी करता हूँ। मैं बचपन से थोड़ा थोड़ा रनिंग करता हूँ। उसके बाद मैं 2012 से मैं लद्दाख मैराथन पार्टिसिपेट किया और रिमोट एक्सपीडिशन में स्पॉन्सर करके मुंबई, गोवा, दिल्ली वहाँ पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए लेके जाता है। अभी तक मैंने 2 टाइम्स मुंबई में ब्रॉन्ज मेडल लिया। हाँ, उसमें मेरा टाइमिंग भी थोड़ा इम्प्रूव हुआ मोटुप सर की वजह से।
Goba Motup, he is truly a trendsetter. He has brought this event to Ladakh. It has attracted so many runners. Apart from that, I think his major contribution is to nurture the young girls and boys who have taken to running.
मैंने वो गाँव में वो मेरे से छोटा को मैंने बोला आप लोग रनिंग करो, आप लोग मतलब आगे जा सकता है, ओलंपिक तक जा सकता है क्योंकि लड़कियों के लिए ज़्यादा अपॉर्चुनिटी है बोल के मैंने बोला। मुझे तो बहुत बचपन से ये शौक़ था कि मैं ओलंपिक तक जाऊँगा, इसलिए मुझे बहुत मेहनत करना है अभी तो।
Never imagined this marathon will grow so, I won't say big, it's so prestigious. Crossed 6,000 participants last year. Over 55, nationalities from different countries have run Ladakh Marathon till now.
The experiences are fantastic. Obviously the altitude is very difficult. I'm used to running in Europe where we're at 0 degrees, maybe 200 feet above sea level. Here, straight away, obviously you feel the altitude and you feel the lack of oxygen. I think it's the hardest run I've ever done in my life.
We're from Holland and well, we just finished, so we're quite
Shocked?
shocked now. It was a near-death experience. So.
Ladakh Marathon has also, I think, managed to lengthen the tourist season, and at the end of the season, Ladakh is almost full. The Leh is almost full. They stay in local houses, and which is giving benefits to the local people there.
People do plan their trip or their visit to Ladakh centered around the marathon. So that gives scope for development of adventure tourism. So it's an immense contribution.
So it's not an event which is just created by me. Now everyone is involved, and I think, and everyone is very proud that it has reached a global stage now.
Before I got married also, I was leading treks in Nepal. And me, like with my father being a mountaineer, so our entire family they're all mountaineers. We started running this business which both of us love. Yeah, he's got a lot of dreams and he's following them. And he's always say like somebody who doesn't stop, he's always looking for new things to do. Like I have to tell him like to slow down, but he doesn't. Yeah, first love was mountains. Now I'll say it's the marathon.
Closer to the marathon, I start really getting stressed, nervous.
I want to run away. In fact, I told him this year I'm not going to be. It's stressful. It's very stressful. He always say that like Ladakhis will turn out to be they'll be better than the Kenyans, or like they can go very far if they get trained. So he believed in that.
To go, participate at national, international level, we do need finances. So if my marathon doesn't do well, if it doesn't come up, automatically that won't happen. Tomorrow, if we can just make it, a sustainable, all these young boys, what we believe in, generate money for Ladakh, and create something people should look up to. As I said that, any runner in the world will say that once in my lifetime I will run the Ladakh Marathon. That's what the event we'd like to create. As a young boy, it was a challenge for me to go across this pass to visit my mother. Initially, I used to be crossing this pass on a horseback or probably on a yak or a zoo. Yang dia ajule lo gapna. Ya jule.
당아리 사면은 단다다리 인지니어지 야 앞서지 전에 그래서 선바예빈 내 거기야랑 홍대 치신다 이제 장로 다 컨트롤송을 맞춰서 빈마나 나 컨트롤 참 맞춰주거든.
When Motup started going to school in Srinagar, her aim was that he'd become a very big officer, doctor, or an engineer. But he started taking to mountaineering, and she felt very bad about it. She didn't like the fact that he's going climbing.
अब जैसे एक्सपीडिशन वगैरह कर रहा ना, वैसे तो अच्छा है ना. अब हमको थोड़ा चिंता भी हो रहा है. कहीं ऐसे टफ जो है ना काम वगैरह में होता है, कहीं है ना ऐसे ना तकलीफ ना होगा, तो भी फीलिंग भी चलता है.
दा शास्त्रता में कौन पा मैं कौन से शास्त्रता नहीं तो man ro कौन से फिर.
She used to keep praying every time. She used to go up and pray that he comes back safely whenever he goes for climbing.
आज ना बास्तों जो देनी का दा man जिगपोसों जापोसों दा man थारा जापोसों चुंग.
Like I'm very proud and happy of what's happening. I didn't expect all this to happen, like taking mountaineering, and I'm feeling very proud now of my son.
After spending few days in Nubra Valley, I used to return back to Leh, walking for 3 days across this pass. And now, it's an irony that after so many years, I've organized the world's highest ultra. So, right from childhood now, it's part of my story of my life. The reason we started Khardungla was to really take the human endurance to the ultimate test, Insane. My toes are gone. Out of 72 kilometers, 60 kilometers of the total race is about 4,000 meters.
Starting at 3 a.m., starting at 4,000 meters, and then you climb up to ridiculous 5,300 meters.
When we start the race, it's about 0 to 4 degrees. And by the time we hit Khardungla top, it could go to minus 14, 15.
There are some 100 miles races and ultra marathons or something, but this one is it's really tough.
60% of the people manage to finish this race, the maximum.
It's truly an honor to be a part of this.
It tests all kind of human limits. For the past few years, the winners are all from Ladakh. Many of our winners have been absorbed by the Indian Army, especially by the Ladakh Scouts. Shabir Hussain, he's been winning the Khardungla Challenge continuously for the last 3 years and giving exceptional timings.
मेरा नाम शब्बीर हुसैन है। मैं दरकेत कारगिल से हूँ। मैं इंडियन आर्मी में हूँ। 2013 में दिल्ली भाग गए थे, लद्दाख मैराथन, फुल मैराथन उसमें जीते थे। फिर उसके बाद खरतोंला चैलेंज में मैं भागा था, उसमें भी मैंने जीत लिया था। इसके बाद 15 में खरतोंला, इसके बाद कंटिन्यू खरतोंला चैलेंज में भागा। जब से मैंने मैराथन शुरू किया तो लोग मतलब एक मैराथन वाले बोल के मतलब मैराथन से ही जाने एक अलग से पहचान हुआ।
The Khardungla Challenge will never be big in volume. We'll never have 1,000 people running marathons, but it'll be the elite, the most experienced runner, the fittest of all will come and try to do this. Ladol and Chondol, Dino, he's known as Dino. You know why? Because he's a very good football player. So they don't call her Ronaldinho, they just call her Dino. Last year था कब गया जब हम गए थे टेस्ट के लिए VO2 max, तो डॉक्टर ने क्या बताया?
ओलंपिक लेवल जा सकता है।
हाँ, आप लोगों का VO2 max ओलंपिक गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड जैसा है, तो आप लोगों ने सिर्फ मेहनत करना है।
2 साल में 7 लाख आया। उसने मेरे आधा तो घर वालों को दिया, क्योंकि मेरा घर वालों फार्मर्स है, नया घर बनाया, इसलिए मदद के लिए दिया।
We don't want Ladakh Marathon to become another just commercial event. It has to have that local touch all the time. Any corporate or whoever wants to come on board, they will have to support our runners, giving them opportunity, creating facilities for them, giving them proper coaching, and at the same time believe on environment issues. We would like them to be a little more committed, to have a long-term relationship instead of just coming for 2 or 3 years.
He's ambitious, more out here to help and just for the improvement of everyone. So he just keeps going at it.
यूट्यूब सर तो बहुत अच्छा है, उसकी वजह से तो हमारा ये अपॉर्चुनिटी मिला। अगर उसने लद्दाख और मैराथन नहीं ओपन किए तो हम यहाँ तक नहीं पहुँचेगा।
मोटुप सर की वजह से हमें अच्छे से अच्छे रनर से मिलने का मौका मिलता है, उनका एक्सपीरियंस को देखने का मौका मिलता है।
आप लोगों ने मुझे सपोर्ट करने के लिए थैंक यू जी, थैंक यू।
The way I will look at my life I will be looking at it as one of the very fortunate ones who really managed to get into the nature, to be with the nature my whole life. The biggest fear I have is that we'll destroy this beautiful nature and it will be beyond repair. We'll try our best to give the next generation the way I found these mountains, the way I look at it. I'll try to pass it on to the next generation. There's nothing much more I can say. My life has been mountains and it remains so till I'm alive.